In Chapter 11 of Atomic Habits, James Clear discusses the importance of focusing on small, consistent improvements in order to make meaningful progress over time. He argues that progress is not always linear, and that setbacks are a natural part of the process of building better habits. Clear begins the chapter by noting that progress often follows a pattern of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. He suggests that setbacks and failures should be viewed as opportunities for learning and growth, rather than as reasons to give up. He encourages readers to focus on making small, consistent improvements each day, rather than trying to achieve big, dramatic changes all at once. Clear introduces the concept of kaizen, a Japanese term meaning continuous improvement. He notes that the practice of kaizen involves making small, incremental changes over time, and that it has been used successfully in a variety of industries, including manufacturing and healthcare. Clear suggests several strategies for incorporating the practice of kaizen into our daily lives. One approach is to focus on improving just 1% each day. He notes that 1% may not seem like a lot, but that over time these small improvements can add up to significant progress. Another approach is to focus on the process of building better habits, rather than the outcome. Clear notes that we often focus too much on achieving a particular goal, rather than on the daily actions and behaviors that lead to that goal. He suggests that by focusing on the process, we can stay motivated and make meaningful progress, even when we encounter setbacks. Clear also discusses the importance of having a growth mindset, which involves viewing challenges and failures as opportunities for learning and growth. He notes that those with a growth mindset are more likely to persist in the face of setbacks and to view their progress as a journey, rather than a destination. Finally, Clear emphasizes the importance of staying committed to our habits, even when progress seems slow or non-existent. He notes that building better habits is a long-term process, and that it requires patience and persistence. He encourages readers to focus on the small, consistent improvements they can make each day, and to view setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth. Overall, Chapter 11 of Atomic Habits emphasizes the importance of focusing on small, consistent improvements in order to make meaningful progress over time. The chapter introduces the concept of kaizen and several strategies for incorporating continuous improvement into our daily lives. It also emphasizes the importance of having a growth mindset and staying committed to our habits, even when progress seems slow or non-existent. The chapter encourages readers to view setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth, and to stay motivated by focusing on the process of building better habits. In Chapter 12 of Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces the concept of the law of least effort. This law states that we are naturally inclined to choose the path of least resistance, and that we will tend to choose the easiest option available to us, especially when it comes to our habits and behaviors. Clear argues that in order to build better habits, we need to work with this natural tendency, rather than against it. He suggests several strategies for making it easier to stick to good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. One approach is to reduce the friction associated with good habits. Clear notes that we often make it difficult for ourselves to stick to good habits by creating unnecessary barriers. For example, if we want to start exercising in the morning, we might make it harder for ourselves by choosing a gym that is out of the way or requires us to pack a gym bag the night before. Instead, we could choose a gym that is close to our home or workplace, or we could lay out our exercise clothes the night before so that we are more likely to follow through. Another approach is to make bad habits less attractive or less convenient. Clear notes that we are more likely to engage in bad habits when they are easy and convenient, so we need to make them less so. For example, if we want to eat healthier, we could remove junk food from our house so that it is not easily accessible, or we could replace unhealthy snacks with healthier options. Clear also discusses the importance of designing our environment to support good habits. He notes that our surroundings can have a powerful impact on our behaviors, and that we can make it easier to stick to good habits by designing our environment to support them. For example, if we want to read more, we could place books in prominent locations throughout our home, or we could make it a habit to carry a book with us wherever we go. Finally, Clear suggests that we can use the law of least effort to our advantage by making small, incremental changes to our habits over time. He notes that by starting with small, easy changes, we can gradually build momentum and make bigger changes over time. This approach can help us avoid the temptation to make big, dramatic changes that may be difficult to sustain over the long term. Overall, Chapter 12 of Atomic Habits highlights the importance of working with our natural inclination to choose the path of least resistance. The chapter suggests several strategies for making it easier to stick to good habits and harder to fall into bad ones, including reducing friction associated with good habits, making bad habits less attractive or less convenient, designing our environment to support good habits, and making small, incremental changes over time. By using the law of least effort to our advantage, we can make it easier to build better habits and achieve our goals. In Chapter 13 of Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces the 2-minute rule as a strategy for overcoming procrastination and building better habits. The 2-minute rule states that you should always start a new habit by doing something that takes no more than 2 minutes. The idea is that by starting with a small, easy action, you can build momentum and make it easier to stick to the habit over time. Clear notes that procrastination often occurs because we feel overwhelmed by the size or complexity of a task. By breaking a habit down into smaller, more manageable steps, we can make it easier to get started and build momentum. For example, if we want to start running regularly, we could start by putting on our running shoes and going for a 2-minute walk. This small action is easy to accomplish, but it gets us moving in the right direction and sets the stage for building a larger habit over time. Clear also notes that the 2-minute rule can be a helpful tool for building habits that we might otherwise avoid or put off. For example, if we want to start meditating regularly, we could start by sitting down and meditating for just 2 minutes. This small action is easy to accomplish, but it can help us build the habit of meditation over time. In addition to the 2-minute rule, Clear also offers several other strategies for overcoming procrastination and building better habits. One approach is to focus on the process, rather than the outcome. By focusing on the daily actions that lead to our goals, we can build better habits and make progress over time. Clear also suggests that we can use visual cues to remind ourselves of our goals and habits. For example, we could place a sticky note on our computer screen reminding us to take a 2-minute break every hour, or we could place a photo of our goal weight on our refrigerator as a reminder to eat healthy. Finally, Clear notes that it's important to give ourselves permission to be imperfect. Building better habits is a process, and we will inevitably encounter setbacks and obstacles along the way. By accepting this fact and focusing on progress, rather than perfection, we can stay motivated and continue moving forward. Overall, Chapter 13 of Atomic Habits offers a practical and effective strategy for overcoming procrastination and building better habits. The 2-minute rule can be a helpful tool for getting started and building momentum, while the other strategies offered in the chapter can help us stay on track and make progress over time. By focusing on the process, using visual cues, and giving ourselves permission to be imperfect, we can build better habits and achieve our goals. Chapter 14 of Atomic Habits by James Clear focuses on how to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Clear notes that many people struggle to build good habits and break bad ones because their environment is not supportive of their goals. In order to build better habits, we need to create an environment that makes it easy and natural to do so. Clear first introduces the concept of habit stacking, which involves building new habits on top of existing ones. The idea is to anchor a new habit to an existing one, so that we automatically perform the new habit after the old one. For example, if we want to start flossing regularly, we could habit stack by flossing after we brush our teeth each morning and night. This creates a natural trigger for the new habit and makes it more likely that we will stick to it over time. Clear also emphasizes the importance of designing our environment to support our habits. This might involve making changes to our physical space, such as placing healthy snacks at eye level in our pantry or keeping our workout clothes by the door. It might also involve changing our social environment, such as finding a workout buddy or joining a support group. Another strategy for making good habits inevitable is to use commitment devices. These are tools or strategies that make it more difficult to break a habit or give in to a temptation. For example, we might use an app that blocks social media during work hours or put our credit cards in a freezer to avoid impulse spending. In addition to making good habits easier to perform, we also need to make bad habits more difficult. One way to do this is to create friction, or adding obstacles that make it more difficult to perform the bad habit. For example, if we want to reduce our time spent watching television, we could unplug the TV and store the remote in a drawer. This creates a small obstacle that makes it more likely we will choose a different activity instead. Finally, Clear notes that making good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible is not a one-time fix. It requires ongoing effort and attention to our environment and behaviors. By regularly assessing our habits and making adjustments as needed, we can continue to build better habits and achieve our goals over time. Overall, Chapter 14 of Atomic Habits offers a practical guide to creating an environment that supports good habits and makes bad habits more difficult. Through habit stacking, environmental design, commitment devices, and creating friction, we can build better habits and achieve our goals. By committing to ongoing effort and attention, we can create lasting change in our lives. Chapter 15 of Atomic Habits by James Clear focuses on the cardinal rule of behavior change, which is to make the behavior attractive, easy, and satisfying. Clear notes that when it comes to behavior change, we often focus too much on willpower and self-control, rather than on creating an environment that naturally encourages good habits and discourages bad ones. Clear argues that making a behavior attractive is key to creating lasting change. This means finding ways to associate positive emotions with the behavior we want to perform. One way to do this is to focus on the immediate benefits of the behavior, rather than the long-term benefits. For example, if we want to start exercising regularly, we might focus on the immediate benefits of feeling energized and alert after a workout, rather than the long-term benefits of better health and longevity. Another way to make a behavior attractive is to find ways to make it more social. People are more likely to stick to a behavior if they can share it with others and feel a sense of community around it. For example, joining a group fitness class or a book club can make a behavior more attractive because it creates a sense of belonging and accountability. The second key to behavior change is to make the behavior easy to perform. This means removing as many obstacles as possible and finding ways to simplify the process. Clear notes that one of the most effective ways to make a behavior easy is to break it down into small, manageable steps. This is where the 2-minute rule from Chapter 13 comes in. By focusing on small, easy actions, we can build momentum and make it more likely that we will stick to the behavior over time. Finally, Clear emphasizes the importance of making the behavior satisfying. This means finding ways to reward ourselves for performing the behavior and creating a sense of accomplishment. Clear notes that one of the most effective ways to make a behavior satisfying is to track our progress and celebrate small wins along the way. By creating a sense of momentum and progress, we can make it more likely that we will continue to perform the behavior in the future. Overall, Chapter 15 of Atomic Habits offers a practical guide to creating lasting behavior change by making the behavior attractive, easy, and satisfying. By focusing on the immediate benefits, finding ways to make the behavior social, breaking it down into small steps, and tracking our progress and celebrating wins, we can create an environment that naturally encourages good habits and discourages bad ones. Ultimately, by committing to ongoing effort and attention, we can create lasting change in our lives. Chapter 16 of Atomic Habits by James Clear is all about how to stick with good habits every day. In this chapter, Clear emphasizes the importance of creating a system that supports our good habits and makes it easy to stick to them over the long term. Clear notes that one of the biggest challenges with good habits is consistency. It's easy to start a new habit, but much harder to stick with it over time. To overcome this challenge, Clear suggests that we focus on building a system rather than just setting a goal. A system is a set of processes and routines that make it easy to perform a habit consistently, without relying solely on willpower or motivation. Clear outlines 4 key strategies for building a system that supports good habits. Make it a part of your identity. Clear argues that one of the most powerful ways to stick with a good habit is to make it a part of your identity. This means identifying as someone who performs the habit, rather than just as someone who is trying to perform the habit. For example, instead of saying, "I'm trying to eat healthier," you might say, "I'm someone who prioritizes healthy eating." Set up your environment. Clear notes that our environment plays a big role in shaping our habits. To make it easier to stick with good habits, we should set up our environment in a way that encourages the behavior we want to perform. For example, if we want to exercise in the morning, we might lay out our workout clothes the night before and set up our exercise equipment in a visible, accessible location. Use cues and triggers. Clear suggests that we use cues and triggers to remind ourselves to perform our good habits. This might include setting an alarm, using a habit tracking app, or linking the habit to an existing routine. For example, if we want to start meditating in the morning, we might set an alarm for the same time each day or link the habit to our morning cup of coffee. Focus on small wins. Finally, Clear emphasizes the importance of focusing on small wins to build momentum and stay motivated. By celebrating even small progress, we can create a sense of accomplishment and make it more likely that we will stick with our good habits over time. Overall, Chapter 16 of Atomic Habits offers a practical guide to sticking with good habits every day. By focusing on building a system that supports our habits, making it a part of our identity, setting up our environment, using cues and triggers, and focusing on small wins, we can make it easier to perform our good habits consistently over the long term. In Chapter 17 of Atomic Habits, author James Clear discusses the importance of accountability partners in forming and maintaining good habits. He begins by highlighting the benefits of having an accountability partner, such as increased motivation, encouragement, and support. Clear notes that many people often try to make changes in their lives alone, but this can be difficult and discouraging. Having an accountability partner can help to provide a sense of community and shared purpose, making it easier to stick to habits. Clear also notes that an accountability partner can help to create a sense of social pressure, which can be a powerful motivator for behavior change. When we feel accountable to others, we are more likely to follow through on our commitments and avoid making excuses. However, not all accountability partners are created equal. Clear suggests looking for someone who is supportive, reliable, and has similar goals to your own. He also recommends being clear about what you want to achieve and what kind of support you need. Clear also notes that accountability can be established in various ways, including regular check-ins, progress reports, and rewards for meeting goals. He suggests setting up a system that works for both you and your accountability partner and adjusting it as necessary. In addition, Clear notes that accountability partnerships can be particularly helpful when it comes to breaking bad habits. He suggests finding someone who can help to identify triggers and develop strategies for avoiding them. Overall, Clear emphasizes the importance of accountability in creating and maintaining good habits. Whether through a friend, family member, or professional coach, having someone to hold us accountable can be a key factor in achieving our goals and making lasting changes in our lives. In Chapter 18 of Atomic Habits, author James Clear discusses the role of talent and genetics in determining success. He begins by noting that many people attribute success to natural ability or talent, but this is often an oversimplification. Clear explains that while genetics do play a role in certain areas, such as height for basketball players, they are not the sole determinant of success. In fact, he suggests that for most skills, hard work and deliberate practice are more important factors than genetics. Clear cites numerous studies that have shown that deliberate practice, or the intentional effort to improve specific skills, is the key factor in achieving expertise in a given field. He notes that this type of practice involves breaking down complex skills into smaller components, receiving feedback, and continually pushing oneself outside of one's comfort zone. Furthermore, Clear argues that talent is often overrated because it can lead to a fixed mindset, or the belief that one's abilities are fixed and cannot be improved. This mindset can be limiting, as it can prevent individuals from putting in the effort required to improve their skills. Clear suggests that a growth mindset, or the belief that one's abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication, is a more effective approach to achieving success. This mindset encourages individuals to embrace challenges and view mistakes as opportunities for growth. In addition, Clear notes that environmental factors, such as access to resources and opportunities, can also play a significant role in determining success. He suggests that individuals should focus on creating an environment that is conducive to growth and development, rather than relying solely on natural ability. Overall, Clear argues that talent and genetics are not the sole determinants of success. Instead, deliberate practice, a growth mindset, and a supportive environment are key factors in achieving expertise and reaching one's full potential. Chapter 19 of Atomic Habits by James Clear is titled The Goldilocks Rule: How to Stay Motivated in Life and Work. The chapter explores the importance of finding the right level of challenge to stay motivated and achieve success. Clear begins the chapter by sharing the story of the three bears in Goldilocks, where the porridge, chairs, and beds were all either too hot, too hard, or too soft, until they found the ones that were just right. He uses this analogy to explain the concept of the Goldilocks rule, which suggests that the level of difficulty of a task should be neither too easy nor too difficult but just right. Clear explains that when a task is too easy, it can quickly become boring and not provide enough motivation to continue. On the other hand, when a task is too difficult, it can be overwhelming and demotivating. Therefore, finding the right balance is crucial to staying motivated and achieving success. Clear suggests that individuals should aim to set goals that are challenging but attainable, and that push them slightly outside of their comfort zone. This approach helps to promote growth and development, as well as provide a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Moreover, Clear notes that it is important to continuously adjust and adapt the level of difficulty of tasks as one progresses. As one's skills and abilities improve, they should aim to increase the level of difficulty of tasks to continue to push themselves and avoid becoming complacent. In addition, Clear emphasizes the importance of feedback in determining the right level of challenge. Feedback provides individuals with valuable information on their progress and can help them adjust the level of difficulty of tasks accordingly. Furthermore, Clear suggests that individuals should focus on the process of achieving their goals rather than solely on the outcome. This approach helps to maintain motivation and focus, as well as provides a sense of accomplishment throughout the journey towards the goal. Overall, the Goldilocks rule emphasizes the importance of finding the right balance between difficulty and attainability to stay motivated and achieve success. By setting challenging but attainable goals, continuously adjusting the level of difficulty, and focusing on the process, individuals can maintain motivation and achieve their desired outcomes. Chapter 20 of Atomic Habits by James Clear is titled The Downside of Creating Good Habits. In this chapter, Clear discusses the potential downsides of creating good habits and how to avoid them. The first potential downside of good habits is that they can become too rigid and limiting. Clear explains that while it is important to have structure and consistency in our habits, it is equally important to be flexible and adaptable. He suggests that we should focus on creating systems rather than goals, so that we can adjust our habits as our circumstances change. The second potential downside of good habits is that they can lead to complacency and stagnation. Clear explains that once we have established a habit, it is important to continue challenging ourselves and striving for improvement. He suggests that we should set new goals and continue to push ourselves outside of our comfort zones. The third potential downside of good habits is that they can lead to burnout and fatigue. Clear explains that it is important to take breaks and rest when necessary, in order to avoid exhaustion and maintain our motivation. Clear also discusses the concept of habit tracking and how it can be both beneficial and detrimental. While tracking our habits can help us stay accountable and motivated, it can also create unnecessary pressure and anxiety. He suggests that we should use habit tracking as a tool to monitor our progress, but not let it become an obsession. Finally, Clear discusses the importance of enjoying the process of habit formation, rather than just focusing on the end result. He encourages readers to embrace the journey of creating good habits, and to find joy and fulfillment in the daily practice of self-improvement. Overall, this chapter serves as a reminder that creating good habits is not a panacea, and that there are potential downsides to be aware of. By staying flexible, challenging ourselves, taking breaks when necessary, and enjoying the process, we can avoid these pitfalls and continue on the path to self-improvement.